Apologies to anyone who watched yesterday's episode and got to like the 9-minute mark. I think it was like 9:12 or something like that. There was a buzzer sound, and that happens every now and then, and I know what causes that. It's when the cord to the mic is slightly out. That'll just happen. So apologies. I really need to make sure when I'm recording, I check and make sure that the cord is in fully. This time around, we're good. We're good. It's good. Everything's good. Probably. Hopefully. Yep. So, now that I've finished Breath of the Wild, I can watch Breath of the Wild videos! Which is great. You know, I can watch speedruns and Let's Plays, and watching a Let's Play now, but I might actually speedrun it myself. I want to. It's crazy. You know, like, speedruns are difficult. But I want to, and I want to do one specific thing that's super dumb, but I want to do shield run. I want to call it shield %, but I made a post on Reddit and somebody got pissy because that doesn't actually fit with the use of %. So I'm just gonna call it a shield run or swordless, or no, not swordless, but weaponless, because there are weapons that aren't swords, and also there's a bow, which technically isn't a sword, but I don't want to use the bow, I don't want to use the weapons, I want to use just the shield, and I am 99% sure this is viable. I have no idea how long it'll take, but I'm pretty sure it's viable. That's why I made a post on Reddit, because I was kind of asking around if it wouldn't be viable, because there are a few things I can't test with my completed file, so I might actually have to reset, which is annoying, but probably fine, I guess, whatever. One thing I might be able to do is go into system settings and save my, save game data, and then I can reset, and then if I want to go back to the old file, I can go back to the system settings and reload game data, if that's a thing that's possible. I know on 3DS it's possible, but yeah. So I might be doing a shield run. And it'll be a while till I can record it, but it'll probably be a while till I get good at it, too, because speedrunning is difficult. There aren't that many really complicated tricks in this one, but you know, it's just a lot of learning the path and learning the fights too. But the fights are pretty easy. I don't have to fight anything except for the final boss, really, because I mean, this game is great. You can just walk up to the final boss if you fucking want to. So that's what the plan is. The plan is get a shield, get away from the starting area, go to the final boss. Because there's an awesome little feature thing where you can just you can kill him with the shield. I did it already. I did part of it, but I can't test every little step because there are things that I already did that I need to do again. Which I guess is confusing if you heard that whole bit, because I mentioned that the only thing I have to do is go to the final boss, but the final boss involves things that I can't do. But I don't want to talk about it. Maybe I can talk about it. It doesn't matter that much. So there are dungeons. I've mentioned that there are dungeons, and it's a Zelda game. There gotta be dungeons. And there are bosses in these dungeons. And how the game works is if you beat the dungeon, you beat the boss, and the boss is pretty easy. And then when you go to take on the final boss, when you go to take on Ganon, you just fight Ganon. But if you don't beat the dungeon and you don't beat the individual boss, you have to fight each individual boss that you didn't fight before the Ganon fight, which makes things complicated because I don't know whether or not it's possible to kill each individual boss like that with just the shield. So that's where things get hard. But I tested getting a shield in the beginning without a weapon, and there's a place that's pretty reliable that's nearby that'll be able to get me shield. So I can pretty much do the same route from a proper speedrun, and just like grab the shield, then do the other shit, then just go straight to Ganon. Well, I'll have to change up the castle route a bit, because technically I can just fly straight to Ganon. But what they do is they go around in the castle and they collect weapons to use during the Ganon fight, because weapons have durability, and when the weapons break you can't use them anymore, and they're using weapons, not just a shield. Shields have durability too, but there's a way around that, which I won't really mention, but yeah. But what I might do is grab multiple shields just in case, because there's like one trick that this relies on. I guess I'll talk about it, but what you can do in this game is you can deflect attacks with your shield. I think it's called like a parry or something like that. When something attacks you, if you press a button when you're holding your shield up, you can deflect it. And that actually deals no damage to your shield. If something hits your shield, it deals damage to it. But if you deflect it, if you parry it, it deals no damage. No matter how weak the shield is, it does no damage. And there are certain phases of the Ganon fight and fights and other enemies that you can deflect the attack and it'll bounce back to them and deal damage to them. And what I just did about an hour ago was an entire Ganon fight with just shields. With just whenever he did that attack, I bounced it back and then I threw a few bombs at him. Which, I mean, the bombs did barely any damage, but it took a damn long time. You know, the most of this speedrun will be the fight. And a lot of the speedruns now are the fight because it's a very long fight. But this one's going to take a ridiculously long time. Which I guess I'm going to have to be fine with. But if I want to do this kind of run, probably I'm going to estimate 2 hours, maybe. And like an hour is the fight, I would think. But, you know, I won't really be recording this until next month. I won't be recording any of this until next month when I have a computer and can record it. But I'm going to be doing a shit ton of practice if this is the thing that I want to do. Just because speedrunning isn't a thing that I've ever really done before, and it's difficult. So I have to really practice. Even this one specific trick, I've gotten pretty good at it, but it's very, very precise. And if I want to do it the fastest way possible with only one shield, because if I grab that one shield and then I just do the game, that's the fastest way to do it. But there are also, like, I could probably route out a path through Hyrule Castle where I could go grab more shields. One in particular is a really good shield. That I know is there, don't know exactly where. And the issues with that is that there's enemies there, and I can't really fight enemies, not reliably. I can throw bombs, but these types of enemies don't deal attacks that parries deal damage to. There is a type of shield that when used will damage the enemy. But unless I can find one of those in Hyrule Castle, which feels possible, I honestly feel like I may have seen one of those. If I can find one of those, then I can attack with the shield. But the only other way to get one is to fight a really, really hard enemy, which is impossible with just a shield, because that type of enemy also doesn't attack with an attack that I can deflect the attack back to him. I can still use the parry to knock away his attack, and it stuns him for a few seconds and allows you to do more attacks, but that particular attack doesn't deal any damage. I have to look into that. I haven't fully mapped out Hyrule Castle yet. I have to kind of figure out where everything is. Maybe somebody online has done that. Probably not, though. The game's still pretty new. And I can't look now, because if there is a shield and I already collected it, it was probably in a chest, and I can't just open an already open chest. So that's bad news. And it's also probably guarded by something that's going to be hard to defeat. So unless I can avoid it, maybe. But there are also fights where you can't leave until you defeat the enemy, which again isn't really possible. So probably not that. But I think there are going to be other shields that I should be able to find and grab. But I'm going to have to just, like, weave my way through enemies in order to get there. But that should be fine. And there's no way to get weapons from enemies without using a weapon. Blowing up an enemy doesn't knock their weapon away. They'll still hold the weapon if you hit them with an explosive. But killing them, of course, does. If I hit them with an explosive and they die, I still get their weapon. But the enemies in Hyrule Castle will not die with one explosion. They may die with like 20, but not one. Especially like regular bombs are very weak. You can get an upgrade to the bombs that make them better, but the ones that I would be starting with will be very, very weak. If you're wondering if bombs count as weapons, they don't. There's like it's called a rune. It's almost like a magic spell or something you can use that just casts an infinite amount of bombs. So yeah, it's also required to beat the game to have that thing, so I don't mind using those. So yeah, I want to do this. I think I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna practice a bit more on this technique thing that I need to practice. But I'm going to wait till tomorrow till I reset my saves to see if anybody says anything on Reddit about how viable this is. I got like one response on Reddit, but it was just somebody that didn't like that I said percent. I wanted to call it shield percent, and they said some shit about they said they needed to teach the new generation what the percent in any percent means, and then they told me to call it something else, and I was just like, well, whatever. They said swordless any percent, which I disliked. In my initial post, I mentioned that I could call it swordless, but I disliked that because swordless implies that you can still use a bow, but I really want to emphasize that this is just a shield run, you know? So I don't want to call it swordless, but I'm comfortable with weaponless. Weaponless is a bit longer, though, you know? Shield run. It's a shield run, or shield percent. I might just continue calling it shield percent to be a dick to that one guy, but probably a lot of the community will agree with him, but I don't know. Am I even going to get a lot of attention from the community? This is just a fun thing that I want to do, you know? Maybe just the posts will catch on and other people will be doing it, but I'm fine with that, but it's still a thing that I want to do, you know? I won't be very good at it, but yeah. I don't know. I've never had the world record in anything before, and if I can have the world record in something I made up, yay. But again, if it catches on and then somebody better than me gets to it and they get the world record, I'm comfortable with that as well, and I would probably still do it because, you know, I gotta do it. You know, now I've thought about it, I've tested it, and I'm pretty sure it's possible. It is very difficult, though. Very, very difficult. It's like I haven't really tested it, but it's still very difficult because I have to like stay alive too. I have to stay alive through all this shit for like an hour. You know, I gotta be fighting for an hour, and I can't get hit like once. You know, and the only thing I could do is use a shield. I mean, it might even take longer. The fight might even take longer than an hour. It's completely possible, but I don't know. And it's hilarious. And I want to do it because it's possible. If it's possible, I want to do it because it's possible. If it's not possible, shit. But I think it's possible. I feel like the mini bosses are going to take longer than the Ganon. The final fight, just because I don't know, I don't think a lot of them do something like I barely really remember their fights, but I think they do have the attack that you can, like, there's one specific attack, and I've seen it be used like once, you know, like I only fought these bosses once, but I've seen a few speedruns, and I've seen that attack once or so. But, you know, I can also, like, I don't know about their other attacks, but it's possible that I can also do the same thing with those. Because, I mean, I wasn't doing anything like that when I was fighting them the first time. I was fighting them properly with weapons. But, yeah. I really don't know. Because I think it's possible. I think I'll just have to avoid attacks and wait for them to do that one specific attack, and then just keep doing that until they're dead, which again will take a very, very, very long time, because I think it's rare that they'll do that attack, because I remember watching a video when that happened, and they said that that particular thing was rare. But of course it's a thing that I need. I want to do it. I think it's viable. I think it's going to be long and difficult, but I think it's possible. And I think I should go practice that trick for a while, for a lot. Just a lot. Because like I said, I mean, it's not... I'm okay at it. I'm surprised at how well I did during the Ganon fight, the shield run Ganon fight, the swordless, weaponless one that I did. I took a few hits. I maybe took like 3 or 4. Luckily, I had enough hearts and food and shit to survive it. But yeah, this one particular attack will kill me if I have 3 hearts. You know. Just no matter what, just absolutely dead. So, yeah. Like, maybe I can find somewhere with, some shit or whatever, but I don't know. I think there's at least a shield in the fight. I know there are some weapons lying around in the final fight. But I think there's a shield there as well. So if I run there with just the one shitty wooden shield, I might be fine if that breaks, because I'm pretty sure there's a shield lying around that I can run and grab. But, you know, I think I want to grab this one shield in particular, because, like, in my head, I feel like it's just laying around. If it's protected by something, then we're no-go, but I feel like it's just laying around. There's probably a few just laying around that I can just run and grab. I hope, you know, really hope. Yeah, I mean, enemies probably won't be that big of a deal, because I can just reset their positions if it looks like they're about to give me a problem, which is, you know, kind of cheap, but anything to get done. I reset their positions by saving and reloading, which takes a long time, but there's one instance where I'm going to have to do this in this run unless I can find somewhere else, because finding a shield on the ground is rare. I found a pot lid. I found a place where I can get a pot lid, but it's not nearby anything. Like, I found one nearby, right nearby the start, that I can run to. But it's also near enemies, and what enemies do is when they see you coming, they run straight for their weapons and they pick them up if they have them laying out. Sometimes they're already holding them, but if they have them laying out, they run straight towards them and they pick them up. So the thing you have to do is run, like, what I'll have to do is either sneak all the way there to the weapon, which is very, very, very difficult, because there's a lookout who's looking out, and he'll warn everyone if he sees me. So that's just kind of no good. What I have to do is run and get to the position where the shield was, because getting close enough that the enemy will have already picked it up. So I'll just have to juke around him, or get bombs by then and blow them up, because I feel like bombs might be able to kill them. I know the upgraded bombs can, but I don't know about the bombs that you start with, and I doubt that they'll kill them, but maybe in 2 hits. Because if they're dead, they will drop the shield. But if I kill the one with the shield, but somebody else is still alive, he'll just pick up the shield. So what I'll probably end up doing is just running right next to where the shield is, saving and reloading to reset their positions, and grabbing the shield and fucking running. Because they won't even notice me immediately, you know? Because if I reload their positions and I'm just next to them, I'm not making any noise, so they don't know that I'm coming. They just won't notice me unless they turn and look at me. If I'm next to them or behind them, they won't notice me unless they use their eyes. Normally they'd use their ears, but if I'm just standing there, I'm not making any noise. So I can just grab the shield and then just dip. And they're not fast enough to keep up. So that's what I'm going to have to do. Unless I can find another shield, but I feel like that's like one of the closest ones. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong though. I haven't really explored fully. And it's possible that I can just skip that shield entirely and just get one from inside the castle, but that shield actually helps a lot doing some things in the beginning portion, so I'm just going to keep it. Like, people normally get a shield, but the way they get a shield is they pick up a weapon and they hit an enemy with a shield on their way to one of their objectives, and they drop their shield and you pick up that shield. But I can't do that because I can't pick up a weapon and hit him. You know, I can't kill that enemy without a bomb, and the only way to get a bomb is to do some things, and that particular enemy that they attack actually goes away after you do a few of the processes necessary to get the bombs. So yeah, I either have to find another one and then blow them up, but at the same time I don't think the bombs will kill them. So this is the option that I have. And I think it's possible. I think it's entirely possible. I know the fight is probably possible. I don't know how long it'll take. But yeah. It's not like I can go to the dungeons and kill the bosses there to get them out of the way, because like getting to those dungeons, even doing a lot of the shit in the dungeons without weapons is just very, very difficult. But just getting to the boss and fighting the boss with just a shield, pretty damn possible, I think, at least. Yeah. I'm gonna kill this boss and then end the episode. I talked a lot about Zelda today. I avoided any spoilers, probably. I don't know. I spoiled like gameplay mechanics, I guess, or like basic gameplay structure. Is what I spoiled. I didn't spoil any story. I did also spoil some mechanics. So I spoiled mechanics and structure. There are dungeons. There is a final boss. You have bombs. Those are the things that I spoiled. Dale, I don't care. Somebody else will kill it. If nobody kills it, I'll kill it. But I gotta end the episode. Take care of yourself.